Okay, good morning, everybody. So here is the next phase of the chorale writing process. And it's a little tricky. You'll go into your chorale. So by now, if you look at the last three measures, you should have, your chords and whole notes. In this case, I have 5/7 chord to the 1 chord, and then just another reharmonizing of the 1 chord. So I just repeated the last chord twice with different voicings, right? So 5/7 to 1 is what I wanted you guys to end your chorales with, and I think most of us have. If you haven't, it's okay. If you did like a 7 to 1, that's fine too. Most chorales though should, or even the 4 to 1, that's fine too. Anyway, I'm in the weeds, right? By now you have um, put the whole notes in as such. All right, what your next task is going to be is to go into these whole notes and start to write a melody. So my original first chord, right, I'm just going to start to add some other rhythms, quarter notes and half notes and whatnot in stepwise to give this a little bit more of a rhythmic feel to make the parts more interesting. And what I did was I saw, and this is going to be the tricky part, I can help you with it. In this measure, measure 1, I'm on the 1 chord of C major, so I have C in the bass, G in the tenor, C in the alto, and high E in the soprano. And I saw that my bass was walking all the way up to this E. So my bass is on C, and there's D and E. I don't know why I was doing that. There's C, D, E between this note and this note, so I was going to turn it into a half note and turn these into quarter notes. So I get this little step up. C, C, D, E. And then it steps back down in the next measure, right? Originally in this measure, we just had this E whole note. So I turned it into a little melody, E, D. So it gives it a little bit more of a rhythmic shape. Sounds like this. Hard to hear it, but it's there. And so maybe, later on I'll go and put in some accents. Then I wanted a little bit more of a answer to that. So I just added some more, wherever I saw a skip of a third or more, I added some steps in between. So I'm just going in, I'm sort of changing these whole notes into quarter notes and half notes. And then maybe I'll turn this, it's kind of random. I'll turn that into an eighth note. Because I know I'm going up to this F in the next measure in the soprano, so C, D, E, F. Let's see how that sounds. All right. All right, so now I just have the final couple measures to do. The alto's been singing whole notes this whole time, so maybe we'll change it. Yeah, something like that. You can make the last measure whole notes, that's fine. All right, I'm pretty pleased with that. The last thing I want you to do is to use the lyrics tool. I believe it's Control L. Yeah, and you're going to go all the way down here, Control L, and you're just going to type in the chords that we have. So one chord, Control L. I have E, G, B, and E, so that's going to be a 3 chord. And then I have C, G, C, E, that's back to the 1 chord. Using the Roman numerals that we talked about. C, E, C, G. Sorry, that's actually a 1/6 chord. If I want to be fancy, it's an inverted chord. It's an inverted 1 chord. Here I have the 4 chord. We have B, F, C, D. B, huh? F, A, D. That looks like oh, I'm sorry. I confused myself. This is a 2 chord. So even I switch between treble and bass clef sometimes. And this is a 5/7 chord. And this is a 1 chord. And this is another 1 chord. All right. I'll save it. And then you're almost ready for the last and final part of this chorale making process. So go in today, do 2 things. Make a melody, make a more rhythmic melody based on the whole notes that you've placed in here. Try to spread that melody out between all of the different chorales, and then label each of the measures with the notation, label with a Roman numeral notation. Oh, I just get hung up on these words sometimes. All right, good luck. I hope this was helpful for those of you who are on this process. If you're still just labeling each chorale section, like if you're just labeling your chorale on whole notes, try to finish that up by today. All right, good luck.